Hello,
One,
hello.
what's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, if you're joining us live, say hello. Hello, how are
What's
you
up,
doing?
Zakia?
Hey, Zakia, how you doing? Hello, we got a good topic for y'all tonight. But before we get into that, we got some other things.
We gotta give people a minute to get in. Got people coming in. When you come in, say hello so we'll know.
Hello.
And make sure you share also, please,
Yes,
ladies and
absolutely.
gentlemen. Share, share, and share alike.
Absolutely. While we talking about sharing, I need to share as well.
Hope you all had a great Tuesday. Like our friend Marlon says, any day above ground is a great day. So if you were
Absolutely.
above ground today, you had an awesome day. That's a
Absolutely.
great saying
Especially
too.
now, for
Yeah,
real.
exactly. Especially with the way the world is and everything that's going on. Any
Absolutely.
day above ground is a great day. I love that saying, and it's so true. We're gonna give you like maybe 30 seconds. Y'all share. Y'all come on in, and we're gonna get started because we got a lot of announcements that we got to get out of the way. Well, maybe not get out the way. Let you all know what's going on with key players, some events we got going on, and just we're excited. It's gonna be a busy year, don't you? It seems like it's gonna be a busy
Yeah,
year,
that's
yeah.
a
But
good that's a good thing.
that's a good thing,
Good
yeah.
busy. It's a
Good,
good busy.
good and busy.
Absolutely.
So,
All right. So, Savalas is going to introduce us tonight.
all right.
For those of you who don't know us,
She already started, so I can just be quiet. Yeah, I ain't gotta say nothing.
go ahead.
Who don't know, we are Savalas and Keisha Rogers, better known as Key Players. We are marriage enthusiasts, marriage motivators, and soon to be marriage coaches. We putting it out there,
Absolutely.
relationship coaches. We just enjoy, we get a thrill out of. We personally feel like we've been called to speak to married couples, to positively promote marriage between a man and a woman, not give you a false image of it being perfect, but just give you an image of it can be worked and it can be done right if you
Yes.
apply some things, put some things in, take some things out. So that's why we have been consistent. I think about a month or two now,
Yeah.
going live
Woo,
every
that's
other
good for
Tuesday.
us.
For us,
Yes.
that's a big deal.
Give it a 5
What's up,
second.
Susan? So yeah, so that's who we are. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, once again, when you come on, share, share, and share, share.
Hey, Susan. Okay, so listen. So Sabalas mentioned that we have some things coming up, and we'd like to share those with you. And we hope that you can not. If you can't make them all, then hopefully you can make one or two of them. The first one we're doing. The first one we are actually facilitating a session at. We still say I do marriage
Still do
retreat.
marriage retreat.
We still do. Sorry,
Yeah.
marriage retreat, and that's going to be at the. That's going to be actually, well, is it Raleigh or Durham?
Marsville.
Marsville. That's
Yeah.
going to be in Marsville, and it's hosted by Apostle Matthew and Deborah Campbell, and we are so excited about that because we did something with them last year,
Two
and
2 years ago.
2 years ago, sorry,
Yeah.
and they called us back to. So I guess
What's
they
up,
like us.
CJ? What's
They called us back to come and do something with them again. The next thing we're doing, and we're super excited about this, woo, because this is really coming up. I think you can purchase your tickets now, and it is Money, Sex, and Marriage, and
part
it's
two?
hosting part 2, and it's hosted by Jonathan and Shavonna Perkins. And if you want tickets, it's at the bottom. For tickets, it's www.shavonnaperkins.com for more information. This is going to be amazing.
If
I
you attended
cannot
the
wait.
first one, you might want to come to this one
Yes,
also.
and this time it's going to be held at the Marriott Crabtree. So we're so excited. We are on the panel with that. We're excited about that, and we are very grateful.
Yes, we are.
The next one is Linked. And that is going to be a brunch, and it's hosted by none other than Key Players. And we are super excited, super, super excited. God has really opened the door. He has really blessed us. It is sponsored by C3 at the venue. And we are so grateful for the opportunity and the chance. And we're all about informative information and being fun formative, which means having fun and just networking and getting to meet other like-minded couples. So we're gonna plan on having a DJ and a good brunch and maybe a guest speaker. So you just gotta stay tuned for that. And the tickets will be coming out for that very soon.
Yes, they will.
Very
Yes,
soon. So
they
we're
will.
excited about that. Invite a friend, tell a friend, whatever. Okay, so the next event would be November the 3rd through the 4th, and we are definitely excited about this as well. Is Let's Build Him Up, the plus couples edition, with Lisa and Lynn Freeman. We are so excited about that. That's gonna be awesome too. Another awesome couples event. So you listen, if you're not doing anything, you got several ones to choose from.
Exactly.
And we would like to see your face in the building. Drag them in if you need to. Drag your spouse in if you need to. But just come. And I promise you, you won't regret it. So we're excited about those things that's coming up. Yes.
And lastly, for all of you who were on our live 2 weeks ago where we had the panelists, that was awesome, where we had the young couple and the older couple, which happened to be my parents.
Yeah.
My wife received a lot of requests from women, married women, I'm assuming
Yes.
some married, I guess, about the sex conversation that my mother was having. And the class that she has put on in previous years
Hey, Nikki.
Hey,
Sorry.
Nikki, for members of her church. So we received a lot. Keisha received a lot of requests.
I got phone calls. I got
Right.
text messages.
Right.
No story. I'm for real.
Right.
Like everybody was like, let me know when. Let me know when. So we're trying to make that happen. I need y'all to keep that same energy. We're trying to make that happen. If you know his mama, like he said, she's a pastor. And so she was very mild that night.
Right.
Even when she said beside the church.
Right.
Okay?
Mama is a hot ticket. Yes, she is.
She's hot ticket.
So what we want to do, I think we're going to do it like a Zoom, because that way
it's more intimate.
It's more intimate. There will be no men up here, husbands.
No, sorry.
Chill that night. And also, my wife says when it's intimate like that, people will be more open.
Right,
So
absolutely.
we're trying to put the Zoom together. We just need to know who's interested.
If you're interested, inbox me, let me know, or inbox Key Players, or
Right.
text me if you have my number.
Right.
So we're going to put that together.
What's up, Danielle?
We got a lot of...
And we need this done ASAP so we can go ahead and relay that information to my mother. And it's going to be wide open. And she said last night, well, I just need y'all to know how far can I go? I said, do you. Go as far as you need to go, because... I don't know what it is about married people. They just feel like that's a taboo topic. I don't get it personally. It may have something to do
That's
with...
because you grew up around
I was going to say that.
I mean, that's because you grew
It may
up
have
around
something to do that I grew up in a house where, as you can see, sex was not a taboo topic. My parents were very affectionate with each other. I mean, they didn't tell us everything they did in the bedroom, but it was no secret. So I'm comfortable with it, and I understand everybody may not be. So for all of you who may not, this will be a more intimate Zoom. I think we're going to do Zoom.
And she makes you feel very comfortable.
She's going to make you feel very comfortable, and, y'all just get ready, and hopefully, what's up, Emmanuel? Husbands will benefit from it. So just inbox us. Inbox Keisha, text Keisha, whatever you need to do, and let us know. And hopefully we can do that real soon.
Absolutely. Or comment, I'm in. Comment, I want to come. Comment, I want to be on that Zoom. Whatever you want to do, so that I would know. But and then you can invite other.
What's up, Star? What's up,
They don't
Emmanuel?
have to
How
be
y'all
married.
doing?
They don't have to be. But they, if they're pursuing marriage, they need that too.
Right.
So that's good. All right. So we're gonna start on our topic for the night.
What's up, Trina?
Our topic for the night is I fell in love, I think, all the wrong reasons to get married.
So before let me say something.
Go ahead.
One of the reasons, I'm not going to say anything, that we came up with this topic is because we personally know someone who is dealing with this, who has gone through this, going through this. And when I was talking to my wife about it, like most things, count us in with your mom and them. No, not you, Emmanuel, not us. Let's start. It's for wives, women only. What's up, Trina?
Hey, Trina.
But anyway, and we were discussing it, and we was like, this will make a decent topic. We should discuss it and bring it to you all. So I just wanted to say that before we get started.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my personal opinion is you shouldn't get married by feelings alone. So many people, it's the way that you make me feel or she make me feel. And you shouldn't get married by feelings alone. Because guess what? Those feelings may change. They're going to change. You're going to change. So those feelings will change. And then what's going to hold you? What's going to be the substance? Some reasons I feel, I started off, that you shouldn't get married. And this is in no particular order. But some reasons I feel that you shouldn't get married is family pressure. Mm-hmm. Or even your partner pressuring you. That's one of the wrong reasons to get married. So you've been dating for a long time, and you know how your family is. Girl, when y'all gonna get married? When he gonna ask you to marry him? Mm-hmm. Or whatever? Or say if your family if they really like the person that you're dating, like they really like the person that you're dating, they like him more than you like him.
That
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they pressuring you like, when y'all gonna get married? When y'all gonna get married? Or vice versa. Or you fell in love for whatever reason. You didn't grow up with the family, the family dynamics. Mm-hmm. And you fell in love with the other person's family. Like y'all do stuff together all the time. And, it's exciting at the time. Mm-hmm. Like y'all do stuff together. Or mm-hmm. y'all, I love the way that, y'all get together and have family reunions and do this and that mm-hmm. and the third. And it's all well and gravy at the time. But, would it be all well and gravy when they start being in your business?
Exactly.
So that's one of my reasons.
That's a terrible reason to get married.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. To get married because and a lot of people, and another reason why we do this is because yes, we are all about promoting healthy marriage. Yeah. God knows we are. We do our best to make sure we have one, but we also don't want people jumping into this blindly. And for the wrong reasons. Yep. Because what happens is you jump in it and then the faster you jump in it, and when you find out it's not what you thought it was, the same speed you're trying to jump out of it. So what we want to do is for you all up here who are not married on this live, or those of you all who may watch the replay, make sure when you walk down that aisle or before you walk in that courthouse or backyard or whatever it is you do to get married, make sure you are doing it for the right reason.
Absolutely.
And family pressure, I think was the first one, is not that we have on our paper here. And people saying, like my wife said, girl, it's been a lot. Now, they don't really do that to men. It's more accepted for a man to take his time to get married.
But the pressure is real for a woman. Would y'all agree with me, ladies that's on this live?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, even I agree with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just don't let nobody pressure you. You got to live this thing a lifelong thing. So do not let nobody pressure you into getting married.
Because after you fulfill your parents and your family wishes, it's just y'all two.
Absolutely.
Then what?
Absolutely.
Then what?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like people get married out of obligation, mm-hmm. which that kind of go in the same hand in hand. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they feel like everybody else is doing it. Like you look around and all my girlfriends getting married. I'm always the bridesmaid and never the bride. Mm-hmm. If you ever heard that saying. So that's another wrong reason to get married. I mean, yes, you're going to get those times where you're lonely. But that is no excuse to get married.
I'd rather be lonely and happy than married and miserable.
That's good.
Yeah. And a lot of people are sitting in miserable marriages because they didn't realize how happy they would be lonely.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another one, I think that's a big one, especially for females. And I'm guilty. I'm going to just be real with y'all tonight. I'm very guilty of this.
Hey, Stacey.
So as most of y'all know, Savalas, this is my second marriage, right? So when I was finished with that marriage, I was like, you know what? If I ever get married again, I'm married for money. Screw love. I don't even care about no love. I'm married for money.
Now, time out. Because I don't want y'all to get the wrong impression of my wife. You have to be a little bit more detailed in why you said
it wasn't like for a gold digger thing.
But it'll come across that way. So explain why you said that.
Well, I said that because, listen, I was in the trenches. Understand what I'm saying? I was in the trenches. Listen, I had to scrape up some oodles and noodles money. Understand? And I said I don't ever want to be in that position again.
Tell about the car you used to drive.
Oh God.
So you gotta let them know why you said that.
Okay, y'all.
Yeah.
So let me tell y'all something. God bought me a mighty long ways. Listen, I had a car. And bless my daughter heart. I owe her big time. I had a car driving down Capitol Boulevard. The car was leaking antifreeze on my foot as I was driving. My baby had to wipe the windshield because, as antifreeze leak, it's going to bring up fog and all that stuff. Well, what is it? I don't know. But anyway.
Antifreeze just ain't supposed to be leaking on your feet. Yeah, period. Yeah.
It was leaking from under the dashboard. Wow. And I'm driving on Capitol Boulevard she's wiping. Now, mind you, she about 4 or 5 years old. She wiping so I can see while I'm driving. Okay, so that's just one of my stories. I mean, I got many more to tell.
What about hiding in the closet when the
well, we already know that.
Yeah.
But I had to hide from the rent man. That's me. In the closet. Okay? In the closet from the rent man. So God has brought me a mighty long ways. Okay? So I said I would never, ever, 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 ever be in that situation again. Ever.
And when we met, when we first met and we was just talking, it was no romance, none even close to that. She said that. She was like, if I ever get married in, it's just going to have to be for money. And I was like, ew. I thought that was a horrible thing to say, but this before I knew her. And I knew all of the stuff that she just said. So, and let me just be real transparent.
Exactly.
Well, I knew that canceled me out because I was not rich, but not only at the time, I was out of work due to a back injury. I was on workers' comp, so I was like, oh, well, this just going to be somebody I know, because Lord knows she ain't going to marry me. I could barely walk at the time.
Right.
But I said that based off not knowing her story. And once I found her story out, it made sense. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought you should explain that so people, what's up, Little Blessings?
Hey, Wanda.
I just thought people should understand your reason for saying that.
Yes, it wasn't by being a go. It's just that I didn't want to be in that place anymore. And not saying that marriage was going not to put me, I wasn't dependent on it. Now, I'm very independent.
Yes.
Okay, I let that be known from the beginning.
Right.
Right? So it wasn't saying that, but I'm telling you, when you are a good team and you work together, that's just so much better. Mm-hmm. Right, so I was like, I'm not doing this no more. Like, forget love. But as you see,
so
God had another. It might sound horrible, but that's how I was feeling at the time.
Right.
And I don't know, but I'm telling you, like most women, not most, some women, they marry. Well, this is not a good reason to get married. For security and financial benefits alone and stability. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to use your mama as an example. Even last week, week before last, his mom said, your daddy was in the what? On the army, so she was going to have a good pension or something?
She knew she would get an FHA loan for a house.
Loan for a house.
Yeah.
See? So, we heard women say that. And if I ever get married, you looking for those things. And those things are all great. They're all great. Don't get me wrong.
Money is great. Marrying a man with money as opposed to a man without money is great.
Right.
That cannot be the sole reason that you go
absolutely not.
And get married, because that money could go just like that.
Yep.
And then what do? And to me, I don't know how this is going to come across, but when I see a woman who marries a man just for money, to me, she puts herself in a bad predicament.
Situation.
A bad situation. Because if he knows that's the reason why you're with him, the main reason, he's going to take advantage of that. In some cases. I don't want to paint a broad... Like, if you look in the celebrity world...
Hey, Pastor Ryan.
And you look at all these celebrity couples and some of the stuff they go through, and every time, like me and Keisha could be watching, and you may hear about a celebrity couple, and this one did that, the husband did that. I look at Keisha, I say, she ain't going nowhere, because she's not going to give up that money.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, that sounds terrible, but it's the truth, especially if that was the basis of the reason you got with the person in the first place. I've watched many NFL and NBA players say when they go on away games, when they get to the hotel lobby is flooded with women.
Wow.
They didn't even go to the game. They might not even know what sport they play, but they know they got money, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to get to the money. I hate a lot of NBA players and sports people. You can tell that marriage is just because to me, this is just what I think. This is a money marriage. They don't have any compatibility when you see them. There's no affection. It's just she got on a whole bunch of outfits that cost a lot of money, and he do too, and that's it.
Right.
It's a money marriage,
right?
Not a sole reason to get married.
Bernicia said that's true. Some are there for money and comfort.
Money comfort.
Yeah.
Money comfort. That's a good way. That's money comfort. That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
That's right.
So yeah.
Not a reason to get married.
Not a reason to get married. That's not going to hold that and sustain that. Trust me, it's not. This is a big one, and this might, I don't know, but to fill a void, to fill a void is not a reason to get married. You need to. I think take care of yourself first.
Right.
Before you decide to go into a union with someone else. If you're broken and you marry somebody who's broken, there's just two broken people. Mm-hmm. You could have childhood void. Maybe your father or daddy issues or even mother issues. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that just complicate things when you're trying to connect and hook up together.
Now we are church kids as far as we grew up in church.
Yes.
Both parents, whatever. So we've always been taught no one can fill the void the way God can. So let's start there. There's just some things about her I will never be able to feel that God has done, and vice versa. So let's get that out of the way. That's first and foremost. But after that emptiness, if I married her, and thank God I'm not that type of person, because I was looking to fill a void for something that was missing, I ain't guarantee she could have filled that. That's not fair to put that type of pressure on your spouse.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know everything they've gone through. What if they empty? Like she just said, two broken pieces. What you're going to do when two broken pieces get together, what y'all going to do is end up injuring each other. You need to get yourself together before you try to come and be one. That takes time. And one of the reasons that takes so much time because we don't want to admit it. We want to think that we're okay. We're not a broken piece. We're the full picture. No, you're not.
And everybody got something.
Everybody has something.
Everybody.
I don't know one person that doesn't have one issue. You looking at, we got issues too.
Absolutely.
We both got issues, but we work through them. Or working through them, I should say. Right.
Pastor Ray said to fill the void, it's not a valid reason.
It is not.
It's
not a valid reason. I just think that's so unfair to your spouse. Whether it's husband or wife, they already got to fulfill their role as a husband or wife. They already got to work. They may have a career. They may have a business. They may be in ministry.
Right.
Whatever. And you want them to fill this hole too?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
You want them to make you happy when... Unfortunately, nobody can make you happy but God.
Even with everything that y'all just heard her say she went through. What's up, cuz? What's up, Don? When I met her, she was happy.
Right. And I told you, didn't I?
Yes,
I said,
did.
you're add to my happiness.
Yes.
You're not going to make me happy, but you're add to my happiness. And I told your father that too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Marriage counselor, yep. I said, he add to my happiness. Because I had to go through some things. And I had to find who I was. For real, I did not know who I was. Honest to goodness, until I was 27 years old when I started figuring out who I was, right? Mm-hmm. So that's after going through some things, after going through that first bad marriage, after I was like, oh wow, I like this, and oh wow, I like this. I can't believe I like this. So that was one of the hardest things in my life, and trust me, I'm telling you, that's when I gave my life to Christ because I knew I needed Him. I could not do that by myself.
Right.
I could not do that by myself.
Right.
He helped me through that. Right. So this is the results of what you see today.
Right.
So.
And if she hadn't done that, this wouldn't have worked.
Right. Is that absolutely?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This would not have worked if we came into it looking for happiness from each other and not being that before we got here. This marriage would not have worked because even with as happy as she was, I'm gonna tell this quick little story. There was still some residue from that previous marriage there. Like she was certain things she was mindful of, or her senses was heightened of that because she was walking into another relationship. So she was mindful. Like I remember one time we was going out. We was going. I think it was our first date, and she got in my car and she slammed the door real hard. I ain't think none of it, and she was like, "Oh my God, did I slam your door too hard?" I was like, "No," but she had gone on a date with somebody, and I guess he said something about that, and she just had residue from other relationships and residue from her marriage. You know, especially when it came to money.
Oh yeah.
We chopping that tree down, and it's getting a whole lot better. But that's one of the things we've been chopping away at for years because of what she dealt with and just her
Absolutely.
fear of not going back to where she was when I met her.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, Crystal, and Renisha says, I went through a lot before I met my husband. I turned him away initially because I had to heal my own voice before letting him in.
That's right.
He always say now, she didn't want me at first. That's not true. I just had to get myself together before dating again.
That's right.
Right, absolutely.
Husband, you got the better version of her.
Yep.
You got the better version of her, and vice versa.
Hey, Derek.
What's up, Derek?
Absolutely. So that's just one. That's a big one right
That's
there.
a huge one.
That's a huge one because you got so many people walking around, and then they like, man, I know I shouldn't have married her. I know I shouldn't have married him. But did you check you first?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
for real.
Right.
Did you check you first?
That's right. I just can't imagine Keisha so dramatic.
And it's okay.
I couldn't imagine waking up to somebody every day in the same bed and not wanting to be with them.
Oh God.
That just
That is miserable.
there are certain people.
I've been there. So
Yeah.
I know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's certain
That's
people that
miserable.
we're not married to that you don't want to be around. Imagine
don't wanna go
at
to
your
work
jobs,
with
at your
folks. Yeah,
churches,
exactly.
even in your family. Imagine living and waking up in the bed to someone that you look at and just regret that you came into their life and vice versa. I can't imagine that. I just can't imagine that, especially with my personality the way I am. I couldn't do that.
No, it
and that's
doesn't.
why.
It doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't feel good. That's why I was nervous a little bit, and I took out like we dated for 4 years before we got married. Because
Yeah.
for me, I wanted to make sure.
And I wasn't in a rush.
And she was not in a rush.
So-
She wanted type like, look, when we gonna get married? It was
No,
not like that.
Absolutely not.
She want like shopping for rings and all that stuff.
It
No,
won't.
it was none of that.
No.
But we knew we was headed that way,
Yeah.
but it was no pressure, which made it all the more better. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. The one, so this is another one. Y'all had a whole bunch. I was just like writing. The woman loves how the man treat her children. So if you meet a man, and vice versa though, that could go both ways. That can go both ways.
It can, but it's mostly
Because there's some men out here that got kids, and the woman may not have any children or whatever, and
Okay.
he loves the way that she,
Okay,
take
that's
care of
fair.
his kids,
That's fair.
and But if y'all agree with me, let
That's
me
fair.
know.
That's fair.
But the woman, loves the way the man treat her children,
Especially if the children's father is not involved in their life. Especially. But that's not a reason to get married.
No,
because
absolutely not.
you may see potential in him as a great father, but that does not make him a great husband.
That's two different things.
Those are two different roles.
Two different things.
Those are two different roles. Husband and father, two different responsibilities, two different roles. You could be a great daddy and be a horrible husband. Yes. It's possible. So that's not a reason to get married.
Definitely not a reason to get married.
Not a reason to get married. He may treat your kids better than he treats you.
Yep.
It happens. I'm quite sure we know of people like that,
Absolutely.
So don't get caught up. And I'm gonna say this, fellas, forgive me. A lot of men use that to get women. They use your kids to get you, especially if your kids got you wrapped around your finger. They will use the relationship with the children to get you and use you.
That's pretty
and
sad.
It is sad, but it's true.
That's
And to
sad.
get out of you what they want. It happens every day, and I don't understand why my sisters continue to fall for it.
Because we probably looking at it like, oh, he love my kids, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, oh, our kids are our heartstrings.
True.
So it's like, oh, he love my kids, so, but I don't know, because I never had that. So.
No, we didn't have that issue.
Yeah.
I was scared. So I wasn't about to use no kids. I became a husband and a father in one fell swoop.
Right.
You know, so I won't about to use no kids to because that's not me first and foremost. But I was still making sure, look, get the husband thing down. You know, are you sure you want to do this? You know, and then are you sure you want to be a father? Because that's a package deal.
Because you got to remember, he didn't have any biological children.
Right.
Like you know, so you
Hey,
got
Miss
to
Sheila.
remember, and this was all new to him, all new to him. So I was not even putting that pressure.
We got a question,
Okay, where's the question?
Derek.
Derek said, "What is too long to be in a relationship?" Well, that's up to the individuals now. To me,
Right.
it
That's
is a point though.
I don't know if you can put a time limit on that, like a broad time limit.
Right.
But like she said, like my wife said, there comes a time where you, as an individual, have to realize that this has gone as far as it's going to go.
Absolutely.
The expiration date is here. I'm not getting anything out of this, and nor am I putting anything into it, and I'm not getting anything from this said individual. If you know that you're in a relationship for a specific reason, let's say the reason is marriage, and you don't see that happening, it's time to cut your losses and go on about your business.
Is
If
it
you're
gonna
not-
hurt? Yeah.
Is it gonna hurt? Yeah.
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 But
Is it gonna feel?
but-
Are you gonna be disappointed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at some point, you got to cut your loss. So there's no specific time, Derek, that you can say is too long. Everybody too long is different. For me, it may be 2 years. For somebody else, it may be 20. Because people do stay in relationships that long.
Yeah,
I don't
they do.
get that. What's your 1, 2 year? Yeah. I'm gonna say so. Anyway, so yeah, that's a broad. That answers vary from person to person, relationship
Right.
to relationship.
Absolutely.
Now, I will say this: if there is abuse in the relationship,
It's time to cut your losses.
cut your losses the minute
ASAP.
ASAP. I would never tell anybody to stay in an abusive relationship. Physical, verbal, emotional.
No.
You know, I wouldn't.
No.
But Emmanuel said,
That's
"What's
it.
your 1 year, 2 year, 5 year plan?"
plan.
Oh, okay. When you're talking about relationships, okay, I get it. Cool. Pastor Ryan said, "We as men know when to take that next step."
Do you really know?
I'm glad you said that because, ladies, I love you, but y'all fall in love with your heart first, and then you think about it second. What you did second.
Wow.
Men fall in love mentally first, and then our heart takes us from there. I fell in love with her mentally first. My heart won't in it yet.
Yeah, we talked on the phone for a good little bit.
For a long time.
Yeah.
I mentally formed a relationship here with her before here. You understand what I'm saying? Because the brain was put in our head to make decisions. The heart was put in our body to pump blood. So
Basically.
don't make decisions with your heart if you have a brain. I fell in love. I calculated everything in my mind first. And once I fell in love with her here, I knew I was going to marry her. Period. Now, men do that. Women don't necessarily do that. Right? Am I right?
I mean, we tend to fall in love, like you said, quicker with our heart.
Yeah,
So
I
we
did.
tend to fall in love with our heart. Yeah.
Mine first. Because I had to think, you know.
Yeah, but it's up to the man to be honest about
That's right.
which way you're going.
That's right. And when
Right.
he is honest, accept it. That's a whole nother topic. Because some brothers tell you from it, you know.
But you think you can change them.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
changing
that's
them.
a-
I'm going to see he going to be
Yeah.
a challenge to me.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh my God, that's a
Okay.
whole nother topic.
Girl, okay, we getting off topic.
That's a whole
Whatever,
nother
girl,
topic.
stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, you want a wedding. That's the reason not to get married, because you want a big wedding.
Just because you want a wedding.
You want a wedding. You want to get married, but you don't know, like he said, have to be a husband or a wife. You just want the wedding. Right? You want a wedding. You want to look. You want to be beautiful. Invite
Yeah.
the people. Get the good food and the DJ.
Yeah, you want the attention. You
Yes.
want that Hallmark moment where it's fairy tale and Prince Charming, and you
Right.
got on this beautiful wedding gown with a long train, and he's standing at the altar looking handsome, and the bridesmaids with the tattoos on their arms is hey mom,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
okay,
I'm gonna go back to it.
okay, I'm gonna hurry up, and you put this image in your mind that's what I want. That's beautiful. We had a beautiful wedding.
Right.
The marriage started the next day. We actually started after the I
It
do's.
started the next day when my family was out there. I was like, wait a minute, hold up.
Okay, what she's talking about. So on our honeymoon night, well,
Not
we got married, and then somebody just got us a room for that night because we was
Right.
leaving on our honeymoon that Tuesday.
Right.
So we spent the night at a hotel, and that Sunday morning we got back to drive. We drove back to the apartment. When we pulled up in the parking lot, it looked like a family reunion.
Yes.
Her family was, half of them was outside in the parking lot. The other half was in the house. I said, marriage has started. Yeah.
Marriage has started for him.
For me.
Absolutely. Trina, to go back, Trina said, we fall in love with our heart first unless we've been through some things and learned them, the hard lessons.
Right, and that'll go back to you.
That goes back to me.
Yeah.
The same
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
The same thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause it wasn't like that.
No.
Okay.
No.
It wasn't
And that's
like
one thing.
that.
That's one thing for me as a man that interests me and made me draw to her. She was not pressed. I had to
Not-
earn her. You know what I mean?
Right.
She won't.
No.
She didn't stop her life because I was in it. She still went out and had fun. She still did her girls' night. She didn't stop her business.
Nope.
You know what I mean? It's almost to the point, if I had came to her and said, you know what, I don't want to do this, she would have been like, okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he sent me something in the mail, y'all. I opened the mail. You remember that? It
No.
said wanted. And it had a picture of me.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I did do that.
I was missing the action. Like he was like, he sent a picture of me in the mail and he was like, wanted.
It
Like,
worked.
If you seen this young lady,
It
if you
worked.
seen her, please reach out and call this number right here.
Uh,
Because that's how busy I was.
Somebody put this in the comment. Hashtag it worked. Yeah. It worked.
It was a nice gesture.
It was a nice hashtag it worked. Yeah.
It was a nice gesture.
But she was not pressed. You know, it was none of that. And I like that about her because men like to pursue.
Right.
You know, and then it made me it made me change some of the things about myself, which I needed. You know what I mean? In order for this to work, I had to do a lot of changing. So that was good. I was glad she was like
We
that.
both had to do some changing.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we both had to do some changing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you feel like you're getting older and you don't want to be alone. That's another
That's a
reason not to
huge
get
one.
married.
Yes.
Not to get married. And yes, you can have some lonely nights. There are some lonely nights.
Right.
But that's not a reason.
What is that, Ronell?
Because you know what? You could be lonely in a marriage as well.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
You could be alone in a
I was
marriage
gonna
as
say
well.
that. Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely not a reason to get married.
Right. That's good. I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because you get married, that won't wipe away your loneliness if you and your partner are not on the same page.
Absolutely.
It will not. You can be with someone and feel lonely. And I know age, it's easy for me to say this because I've been married going on 16 years. But like I said earlier, I would rather, let's say I was getting married now, I would rather have waited and got married to the right person and live out the rest of my days happy
Absolutely.
than to have done it at such a young age and just be miserable. You know what I mean? Because I feel like you can delay the person you're supposed to be with if you jump the gun to be married. And a lot of people have delayed who they were supposed to be with based off who was just there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, God shined on her.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah,
gave me a second chance.
She was young.
He's a God of a second chance. How about
yeah,
it?
you were only, what, 19?
I was 19.
19, way too young to get married.
Way too young.
Way too young to get married. So a lot of people,
Well, I feel like it's too young.
you know, I mean, it's easy for us to say, let me say that, but don't rush just because of your age. Because a lot of time that may be what you need. Age may be what you need because you get to learn and go through some things and, you know, and become that fine wine for whoever it is that's going to come into your life or vice versa.
Or that could be vice versa. You could be older and you feel like, you know, I'm getting old and I don't have, you know, I'm alone or I'm lonely or whatever.
Right.
Whatever. So it doesn't have to necessarily be you're younger.
Yeah.
But yes, that's another word. Okay. I wish people would stop viewing single as lonely.
Absolutely.
Date, you fall in love with you.
Right.
Yes, like I said, I found myself at 27.
She loved herself when I met
Yes,
her.
at 27. It's something so liberating about knowing who you are and what you want and not being pressed for somebody to love you and pick you. That is so good.
It makes, as a man, that makes a woman more attractive.
That is so
like
good.
it did her.
Mhm.
You know, she had her stuff, you know, she had her stuff together. Like I remember the first time I went to her apartment and she had told me that she had a daycare business, an in-home daycare. Well, I just assumed it was just some toy store on the floor. You know, I didn't know no better, you know. But when I walked in and saw that a corner of that apartment was set up like an actual daycare. And then from there, then how she did her bills and just other things she had going on. She was together in certain aspects
Right.
that made me want to pursue her over time. You know what I mean? She won't pressed about being single at all.
No, I had
Not at
been
all.
there, done that. No,
She won't lonely
No.
at all.
No,
None of that.
no.
So this was not a damsel in distress type situation.
Absolutely.
This was just meant to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a God's doing.
Yes, because,
A God's doing.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I didn't want to be married.
He didn't
I had
want
no desire to be married or be a parent.
Absolutely.
At
And y'all ain't
all.
gonna believe this. On the first date, no, not the first date, but on one of our dates, I told him straight out. I was like, "Look, I'm not having no more children," and he was like, "Phew." He said, "I'm so glad that you said that."
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be the one to say that, but
Mm-mm.
I just put it out on the table. I was not trying to sugarcoat nothing. Put it out on the table. You know where I stand. I know where you stand.
And here's the funny, this is how God works. Okay, you're not going to have any biological kids? Fine. I'm going to make you fall in love with a woman that's got two. I'm going to make you fall in love with a woman that has an in-home daycare.
More
That has 5 children. I'm going to make you fall in love with a woman whose family is full of children.
Right. Exactly.
You know, since you don't want none. All her friends at the time that we ended up meeting had children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since you really didn't want to do it, I'm going to make you and her be over a marriage ministry at a church with the youth. So I have had children in my life forever.
Ever.
Forever.
Ever. That's funny. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Whew. Okay, so another one is you think it would fix the problems that you're already having in your relationship.
Yes.
Getting married. That will not work.
No.
That would not work.
No.
Please do not get married thinking that you can change a person, because that is absolutely so far from reality and the truth.
If your relationship is in trouble, walking down the aisle won't make that trouble go away.
No, it's only going to make it worse.
Yeah. It's going to make them worse. It's
Trust
going to
me.
make it worse. Figure out what you need to do. Figure out what, and we're not saying because your relationship is at a bad spot that it can't get better. You know, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is marriage is not the answer to make it better.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Absolutely.
That does not work. That, if anything, to me, that magnifies whatever you got going on. Because then there's a certain obligation that comes with marriage.
Yep,
That you
yep.
may not have as just dating.
Yep. And said people only change if they want to.
That's right.
People do what they want to do.
That's
They
right.
only change if they want to.
Like we said earlier, it was a lot of things about me that I had to change. In
Me
order,
too.
well, yeah, well, I'll let
Yeah.
you say you. But for me, in order for this to work, I had to make some changes.
Yeah.
Because you got to realize, I was no children. I had been single for a minute. I loved being single. You know what I mean? I was set in my ways. You know,
Yes.
selfish. I do mine, you do yours. Selfish, didn't like compromising because I didn't have to because I was single. So I realized in order for this to work, a lot of that stuff I just had to chop away. And it didn't happen in 1 year. It didn't happen in 2 years, 3, 4 years. It's a constant chop.
Right.
Every year you have to chop something away. You know, just like people who do lawn care, you prune. We pruned, well, we call it pruning, this big tree outside of our yard last year.
Butcher.
We butchered it. It was our version of pruning. We're not professionals. But if you look at it now, it has blossomed because there were some things that had to be cut away in order for it to grow. Now it's
Yes.
bigger than it was last year.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's more fruitful this year than it was last year because we cut things away. And it took time. We was out there sweating. Branches was cutting us. I think one of us was bleeding a little
Yes.
bit. It took time.
It
But
was
the
hard.
tree, the bush has blossomed because we did the pruning. Relationships work the same way. Marriages work the same way. You got to cut some things away in order for what is intended to grow to grow.
Yep. The kid said become selfless and the marriage is the key. That's what you just kind of said.
Yeah, and that's what I realized I had to do that.
Making
you
a
know.
sacrifice.
And you could tell
And
some
making
things
a-
you had to change. Let me time this, see how quick this is. Okay, wait a minute, let me get my timer right. And go.
Whatever.
Go.
Anyway, no, y'all know my biggest thing, and I've said this before, it's no secret. You know, I had to let go of the control. That was the biggest thing for me. One of the biggest things for me. You know, because I was just so used to doing everything. You know,
Right.
I was used to doing everything by myself. I made the decisions. Like, I didn't have to consult with nobody but God. Okay? I made the decisions. So that was extremely hard for me. That was extremely hard for me. I mean, and I'm getting better, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I'm getting a whole lot better at it,
Yes.
And so that's the one big thing. I know it's other things, I was kind of a neat freak, right? So I'm junky, but I was a neat
Oh,
freak.
yeah, wait, time out. In what way? Explain that, because that's new to
Well, you know how funny I was about the house. Like you even said.
Oh, yeah.
So I was very funny.
Yeah,
about,
I got you now. I got you.
certain things.
Got
You know what I'm saying? I was very funny. I still am.
Yeah.
Still am very funny about certain things.
Right. I get what you're saying now.
But I had to, change and be like, okay, it's not that big of a deal.
Like,
you know what I mean?
I saying, to give an example, say for instance, like if she would tell Zion to do something, he was little, and she had to tell him 3-4 times, that didn't bother her.
No.
If he spilled some juice on that carpet, all of Hades would break loose.
Yeah.
And I was just the opposite. I would get more upset if I had to tell you 2 or 3 times to do something, as opposed to you dropping something on the carpet. Just wipe it up. But that's how she was.
Right. So Ann said she had to learn to fall back to let her husband fulfill his role. Yes, and that's one of the hardest things that I thought. Oh my God, that is just so hard. That is hard because I was the type, just let me handle it, or I go ahead and handle it because I feel like he's not handling it fast enough.
Right.
So, and then I get mad at him.
Right.
Because I didn't let him,
do what I was supposed to do.
Do what he's supposed to do.
Right.
Right? So he was like, I was trying to handle it. I was getting on it, but it wasn't to my liking.
Right.
So I had to learn how to okay, just do a woo-saw moment. He gonna get it, He gonna,
Why you had to say it in that voice?
Because I'm like, he gonna get it,
yeah.
So we don't came a long ways even in that area.
Yeah.
So that's just us. We can talk about us because we know us.
Right.
All right. So the next thing is, and we just got a few more. You have you got good chemistry in bed.
Ooh.
Oh, y'all know what the sex is good. We got good chemistry in bed. That's the next thing. So that's the wrong reason to get married. The wrong reason to get married. Just because somebody good in bed, that don't mean nothing. Trust me. Because, honey, that's going to go out the window when them bills ain't paid. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is going to go out the window when them bills ain't paid. You ain't going to want to think about no sex then.
Not that being compatible in the bed is a bad thing. Let me put that out there first and foremost. You do want that compatibility in the bedroom.
Right.
But once again, just like we said with money, sex cannot be the sole reason you walk down the aisle with someone.
No, and I hope it's not.
I pray that's not.
God knows.
I know a lot of people when I was growing up that was little. When I was little, the church had a tendency to kind of push people into marriage because they didn't want to sin. That's what they was told. And a lot of people growing up in the days got married. If it was a single woman in the church, the first single man that came to visit, he was your potential mate. Don't know his background, don't know if he working, don't know if he just got out of prison, don't know if he got a body in the trunk of the car in the parking lot of the church. He's single, you single, let's get together and get married. Absolutely. So you don't sin.
Absolutely.
That's that's not a legitimate reason to get married just because of sex. Sex changes.
Yes, it does.
Your desires change.
Honey, your body changes.
Your body changes. Your hormones change.
Yes.
You get older, God willing.
Them hot flashes, it's too much.
But it's still important every day. This is Nikki. Yeah.
But it's still important every day. Of course,
yes, Nikki. It is important every day.
Absolutely. Susan said marriage should be a maintenance plan periodically. Review some things and then pivot where you need to.
Absolutely.
That's about that change. You're going to change.
That's an excellent point. Yeah.
Yes, that's an excellent point. Yeah. Absolutely.
So don't get married just for sex. That can't be the end all be all.
No. Absolutely
because
not.
if there's no love, there's no commitment, no trust, and it's just sex, what happens when, I'm going to say the man, let's say the man gets older and can't perform like he used to. Then what? The blue pill's not working. Then what? Let's say some stuff that used to sit up here on her, now's at her knees. They don't perk. They like fish. They like when you know. Then what? When that was your sole reason for getting married, then what? Your marriage is headed for some trouble.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not like once again, not saying that being compatible in the bedroom is not a good thing. It's excellent, but that it has to be a part of. the pie, a part of the recipe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brian said, I have this conversation with young adults about being sexually compatible.
Right.
Can you all break that down? Can you all break that down?
Okay.
Can you break it down? I tell them that you're already compatible. Men equals plug. Women equals wall socket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's dip into sexually compatible. Okay, just a little bit.
Right.
First and foremost.
Father God.
First and foremost, that should be something that should be talked about prior to marriage.
Yes.
First and foremost, let's start there. You need to have some type of general idea of what he likes and what she likes. Okay? You need to have some general idea of how often they like it. Now, in most cases, the man is the one who has the higher sex drive. In some cases, Nikki, before you respond. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it PG. I'm trying to keep it PG. So you should have some general idea of the amount of sex that is needed. All right, so that's where you're there. Then once we get into the bedroom, there are certain people who like soft, soothing sex. You know, it doesn't take a lot of positions to get them where they need to get. Missionary is okay with them. You know that they are comfortable there sexually.
Right.
You know, some people may not be comfortable with their body.
Right.
Some people may have experienced someone touching them in an inappropriate way when they were younger. So they are not open to being broad in the bedroom. That's one class of people. Then I'm going to flip all the way to the other side. Then you got the straight up freaks who are willing to try, do whatever you are willing to do.
Right.
From toys to, in some instances, bringing other people in the bedroom, role play. Some people have fetishes that they have no qualms about letting you know and engaging in. Right? Mm-hmm. So if you are the one who just good with missionary and she come in the room dressed like a horse, you in trouble. If she come in the room with a saddle on and she wants you to ride, or vice versa, you ride her, it's gonna be some issues, cause that's not gonna mesh.
No, it's not.
That's not gonna mesh. Then you have the other people who are in the middle. I feel this is what I feel. You help me out with this. That they are. Sheila said, "Lord, there are some people who." Have their own, what's the word I want to use? Comfortability with sex, but are willing to explore. And over time, I think that's probably the safest place, because over time, you can introduce things, and nah, I like that. Nah, that's too much. Nah, take the battery out of that. Nah, it's going too fast.
But you got to feel comfortable with your spouse. You got to feel comfortable with your, your spouse. If you're, you and your own self. You know what I mean? So that takes something to grow upon.
Okay, I was gonna say something else, but Miss Sheila just caught my attention. Okay, go ahead.
Nakia said, what if a person doesn't know, like it's their first time, who waited until marriage?
That's where
when you feel comfortable.
That's where either the man or the has to make that spouse feel comfortable.
Right, exactly.
And you're gonna have to talk. And that's weird to me. You're gonna have to have it's awkward. Yeah. So we sit there and be like, listen, we get married on Saturday, right? And we're going to eat and dance, and then we're going to have sex that night. What do you feel comfortable with? What did you like, Right. Do you like kissing? Are you into oral sex?
I mean, would you really have this conversation?
I mean, I'm being silly, but you're going to have to talk. You're going to have to have some type of conversation to make sure that person is comfortable, because sex is about pleasure for both people. It's not about blowing her back out. It's not about her turning you out. It's about you all bringing pleasure to each other.
Right.
So if this is your first time, and normally that would be a woman, man, you're going to have to be gentle with her.
Yep.
You're going to have to do a lot of foreplay more than likely. You know what I mean? Am I right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take your time with her, because over time it will get to where you all are comfortable and can and meet at a median about what it is that you need to be pleasured.
Right. Well, you can go to Miss Sheila.
Okay, Miss Sheila said, "What if you're oversexed? What does that mean? Like you're done having sex?"
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Like you're over it. Okay, all these years you're over it.
You're just done having sex. Is that what you're saying, Miss Sheila? Don't want it no more. I want to make sure.
Said bedroom is undefiled.
Right, that's right.
Nikki, I don't know.
For that person, go ahead. I'm sorry.
For that person, I think that's the beauty of being able to explore with your spouse. It comes very comfortable.
That's
You
beautiful.
have
Yes.
to be comfortable.
You have to be comfortable with that person. And that comes outside of the bedroom.
Yes.
Making that person comfortable inside the bedroom happens outside of the bedroom.
Yep.
Miss Sheila said no. Miss Sheila, you have to explain yourself.
Right. Explain yourself. But so we're going to move on. So, because you're pregnant, please don't get married because you're pregnant or you already had the child. Okay. So that's one of the biggest reasons, I think just because you got pregnant or you had the child already.
And
that was one of my reasons when I was 19. So that's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
I had already had my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I had her when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
We all know this. But I felt like, that was when, like, I got to get married. I have to get married because, we had her and even though I already knew. So please don't do that.
And because now I'm gonna see.
And sometimes it's better for the child. You think
That's
it's
so
better.
true.
You think that it's gonna do
That's
well
true.
by the child, but if
That's
y'all
true.
are not good together, you causing more damage to the children.
That's right.
Or the child. So
Now I'm gonna see because in some instances, now if you all disagree with me, Miss Sheila said we talk that. Okay, so if you all disagree with me, just let you know, because really that person's sole purpose for you could have been just to make the child, and that's it. It was never purpose for you to spend the rest of your life with this person. That person's purpose in your life was to have this human being, for that human being to live out whatever purpose God has for them. So just because you are pregnant, that's no reason to get married. And they used to do that back in the days, older back in the our parents' days, but not now.
right. Great explanation of the sexual
Compatibility.
because I tell the young women, don't let the gray sweatpants craze fool you. Right. Right.
And I had to be PG, Ryan. Yeah, them gray sweatpants don't mean nothing if you don't know what you got. Use what you got in the gray sweatpants.
What gray sweatpants?
Forget
I'm
it.
just messing.
Yeah.
I'm messing.
Yeah,
I'm messing.
just because you see something you like, that don't mean they know what to do with it. That goes for men and women. Just because she got curves, that don't mean she know how to use them.
Right, exactly.
She was just blessed.
All right, we got two more. Physical
do we?
appearances.
Yes.
Yes, do not get married because, he is fine. Okay?
Right.
Or she is fine. Because let me tell you, that'll change.
Fine changes.
That changes. That changes.
Fine goes away.
Absolutely. And it says in sickness and in health.
Yeah.
You don't know what the future holds.
That's right.
So you're going to have something a little bit more than being fine.
Right.
You understand?
Nothing wrong with you having your likes, and there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be with someone attractive. That's not what we're saying. But the theme is that can't be the sole reason you walk down the aisle because he got
to be. You got to have some kind of attraction to the person, though.
And attraction is subjective.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, what look good to you may not look good to me, and vice versa.
Right, absolutely.
Her looks was not the only reason we walked down the aisle, and it certainly wasn't mine because she didn't even like big guys. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. So it has to be more than the physical.
Yeah.
It has to be more than the physical.
Definitely. And shack it up. This is the wrong reason to get married because you're shacking up. And the people in the church telling you shacking up. Now,
okay, so that's what you're going with.
Yeah, I'm not saying, listen, I ain't condoning shacking up now. I'm not for that. But what I'm saying is, let that not be a reason why you rush to the altar.
Right.
Okay? Go get married.
Right. Marriage should not happen because you're pressured in any way about any of the stuff we talked about tonight.
Yes.
I felt no pressure getting married, walking down that whole stuff. I of course you were a little nervous because that's a big day, but I didn't feel pressured to be married. You understand what I'm saying? And neither did she. There was no pressure for us to get married. It was the right time. It was the right person and the right purpose. It was not because of pressure.
Yeah.
If you feel pressure walking down the aisle, you may want to rethink this thing.
And trust me, You
Do you?
Yes. Well, I'm going to just say for me, I knew. I knew, but I was like, well, the cups don't been bought, the plates don't been bought. I might as well, people don't spend money. I might as well go on through with this. Oh, God.
All wrong reasons to get married.
I was the walking billboard. All right, so please don't do that.
Don't follow her lead at 19.
Please don't do that. I'm here to say somebody's gonna see this. This is gonna help somebody, right? So when you do things like that, you're gonna end up regretting.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sabata said, you're gonna look over at the person next to you and gonna be like, "Why in the world did I do this?"
Mm.
Why?
God, I
you're
can't
in
imagine
it.
that.
Why did I do this?
I can't
Why did I do
imagine
this?
that.
You're gonna start resenting your spouse. You're gonna have resentment. You are.
Mm.
You're gonna start resenting your spouse,
Mm.
and then you guys are gonna have to work through that. So I'm just telling you.
And resentment hurts inward also. Keeping resentment in your heart does as much damage to you as it does the person.
That's good.
Yeah, it does just as much damage inward than it does outward.
That's good.
Yeah.
But there is hope. If
There
you
is
find
hope.
yourself in this situation, there is hope.
There's hope.
There's hope. So, marriage can be a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
Right.
If like you Savannah said, if you marry your purpose.
Right.
Or marry the right person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it could be a beautiful thing.
Right.
And I'm just so glad that God gave me a second chance. So.
Right. And I'm glad he knew better for me what I needed and I wanted for myself.
Yes.
Because like I said, I had no desire to be married, be a husband, father, none of that. But he knew better for me what I needed than I knew what I needed.
Yes.
And so, hey, here we are.
And here we are. And so just before we leave, we're just going to give you some reasons to get married.
Yeah.
These are some reasons to get married. If the person's strengths are your weaknesses.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if the person's strengths are your weaknesses, some of my strengths, some of his strengths.
And we say that
weaknesses.
all the time.
Yes.
The areas that I am weakest in is her greatest strength.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Vice versa.
I promise you. That's the God's honest truth.
It
and
is.
when I realized that, that was another thing that let me know this was the person I was supposed to be with. And even once we got married, I still started to realize, and it started to help me become who I'm supposed to be. Because every area that I am weak in is her strength.
Yeah.
Give
And
you a
vice
perfect,
versa.
Yeah. Give you a perfect example. This talk tonight, we had a topic, but we didn't have any structure to it. And I'm the go off the top of the head person. That works sometimes.
I can't do that.
That works sometimes. But in other instances, you need to have some structure.
Yeah.
So when I got home from work, all of this was typed out. I know y'all can't see it, but all of that was typed out. We have notes. That's her doing.
Yes. That's me. I got to go by that. I can't.
And that's how we work.
Yes, absolutely. If you know how to respect each other's boundaries in a disagreement, that's a big one.
When you're fussing and arguing, you don't go too low.
Right.
You get your point across, and there may be some tense moments, but you still keep a level of respect for your partner.
That's right, always.
If you and the person can establish that, that may be one of the reasons to get married.
One of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make a great team together.
Which is what we were talking about earlier.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're willing to change what needs to be changed in you, we don't have that on the paper. If you're willing to change what needs to be changed in you, both people in part, that's another good reason to get married.
Yep.
If you are attracted to the person, that's a good reason too.
Yeah.
If
you got to be.
If you all have like interests, things in common that you have, that's another good reason to get married.
Yeah.
If you know this person is part of your purpose in life, that's the ultimate reason to get married. Ultimate. And those marriages are the ones that normally do well when you marry your purpose. But you just got to have the vision and the sight to realize this is what this person is. It ain't just a woman. She ain't just a cook. She ain't just somebody I'm sleeping with. This is part of my purpose, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
If you can see that in a person, then fly down the aisle. Yep. Fly in front of the magistrate.
Yep.
The magistrate.
And that's what's going to hold you after that 5-year, 10-year, 15-year,
20-year, 25-year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what's going to hold you.
That's what's going to hold you. Those are just a few. We could go on and on and on.
Right.
Yeah, but those are some of the quick ones.
Right.
Quick ones. The main purpose of this was the reasons not to get married.
Not to get married.
Because this is no joke. This is work. This is enjoyable work. But this is serious stuff here. And we have enough people doing marriage half you finish the other part way. We need people to come into this marriage community that is willing to do the work and be an example for those that are still single, those that are dating, those that are divorced but want to get married again. We are the examples for them. They are watching us. What are we showing them? What are we saying about marriage?
That's good.
What does your marriage tell people that are interested in being married or engaged or dating? Or even more important, someone that has given up on the idea of marriage. What does your marriage say to them?
That there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
What's that?
If you in this until the end are all long suffering, that's a reason to get.
That's another reason, long
Absolutely.
suffering, because there's going to be some suffering.
It's gonna be some long suffering.
It's going to be some long suffering.
Yeah. Maybe some other things.
It's going to be some long suffering.
Absolutely.
But greatness comes out of that.
Right.
If you do it the right way. Pastor, yes, sir, marriage is 100-100. That's right. Never 50-50.
Absolutely.
Because if I'm giving 50 and she giving 50, who getting my other 50?
Okay.
Yeah. Who is taking the other 50 that I can give to her or that she can give to me? See?
Okay.
So it's 100-100.
100.
100-100.
But thank you guys. This was awesome.
Awesome.
We love y'all as always.
Once again, ladies,
Oh.
talk about the thing.
Once again, what? Oh, ladies, yeah. Once again, if you didn't join us earlier, Savala's mom, Pastor Harriet Rogers, she's willing to do a private Zoom with us. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. I'm excited about it, okay?
No man.
And she's my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited about it because she was very mild on that live
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So if that was mild, y'all in for a treat. So please let me know if you're interested. I get that link out to you. We'll get it together. She's willing to do it. We got to get it while it's hot.
Right. So either inbox or text Keisha.
Yeah. You can
Or inbox
me
key
or,
players or
Right.
whatever it is you need to do. Let us know that you're interested. And once we get some people who say, yes, I'm down, then we're going to pass
We'll
the
put it
information.
together.
Oh, Ann already said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we're going to give that information to my mother. And we're going to set the Zoom call up. And y'all do what y'all got to do.
It's going to be good. I can't wait. Anyway,
So.
Thank you guys for rocking with us. As always, take a look at the events. If you can't make one, or if you can't, just try. We appreciate it. We love you all.
And continue to pray for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Pray for us as we venture out into this thing called marriage ministry, as we seek to better equip ourselves to give you what it is that you need and some of the things that we got doing. Say a prayer for your boy and for your girl, because we pray for you, or we pray for marriage couples every day.
Yep. We
We ask that God continue to cover you, bless your household, bless your children, bless your finances. And we mean that, we pray for everyone who comes on this live. We thank you for those that respond to our posts.
Yep.
All of that. We say a prayer for you on a daily basis.
Yep.
So do
social media.
Social media, that's right. So do the same for us.
We appreciate that because we need all the prayers.
Yes.
Trust me, we do.
We got events coming up, and that's when we get along the worst.
Yep.
So, ain't that the truth?
Yep,
We
that's
got like
the truth.
5 events. We only put 4, but there's 5 we know coming up this year. Y'all pray for us.
It's either we get along the worst or something in our body start aching.
Yeah,
That's what
our
it is.
knees.
Something hurts. Okay?
Something happens. So y'all say a prayer for your boy, for your girl.
Yes. Thank you guys. Love you all. Have a great night. Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.